Welcome everyone to the TRACC.eu IVGTC Season 6 Round 4 race at Catalonia. I'm Jordan Brunch and I'm joined by Julian Stresser. Julian, are you there?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you very much.
Quite an exciting race we have today.
Oh yeah, Barcelona in the rain. That's a combination that I'm personally glad I don't have to race myself, but I'm sure these people out there will have a time.
Not a fun one, but a time indeed. Currently riding along with Mark Kane at the moment, who is second place, just by 2/10. In the Yandere Racing Aston Martin Vantage.
Yeah, but I do think we need to look at some stuff in terms of the standings.
That's right, we have standings. So, would you like to say the team standing first, or would you like me to?
Let's go with the team standings. Who Wants the Soda X Queens Design Racing is currently in P1 with Ruby Acosta and Reska Kioso leading the way with 135 points in total, followed by Konako Racing with Akito Sasagawa and Gary Slater with 96 points, VM Interplanetary with 90 points, Albert George and Victor Masato, and there are still Kurenza Exikari and Gründer Industries also in the battle here for P2 on the team standing. Interestingly enough, all of these teams are somewhat based in Switzerland. So that is a very neutral nation having a very much war against itself for the third place, possibly even the second place of the team standing.
That's right. Perhaps even a four-way battle if Felix Nightfire and Mortis Reitner get a good positioning today. A good point, so we can definitely bring them into that battle for second place in the team standing. Then we have Grunder Industries with Wakaseas and, well, it says me, however, it is no longer me. That is now executed, Season 4 IWC Champion. They have Speed Daddy Chunesock with Chamcho and Tarls the 14th in P6 with 49 points. They have Umo Speed, a newer team, with Wayoharu and Midnight Hurricane in the NSXs. 44 points, Yandere Racing with Mark Kame and Panic Fungus with 28 points, and Cross Aware SRHT or Shirt with Shike Hawken and Damien Pustupa, 26 points. And I think it's Top Speed EAV Racing with SKP and Avenue B running out the top 10 with 19 points with the Porsche team. I'd say quite a close battle for P8-9 for the championship. Only 2 points between them. From 10th till 13th, there is only four points between them as well. 12th and 13th, which should technically be joined at 12th for TG Solar Club and Vitali Racing Team. Do you think there'll be any team jumbling parts after this, Julian?
Oh, definitely. Rain is always something that is shaking up the grid, and it will also shake up the standings, I am sure of that.
It'll be quite interesting to see which team will prevail today in the rainy conditions. Should we show them a track web? a full speed lap?
Yes, please. Let's do that.
We shall be back with you after this lap.
We start our lap by trying to get a good run onto the start-finish straight. This starts with a good exit out of the last chicane, through New Holland, and onto the massive start-finish straight. Here we've got some time to brew some lovely tea before braking at around 130 meters into turn 1 Elf corner. And now we're coming through Renault at the second Pirelli sign on the right. Brake a bit in order to manage the corner. Go on the accelerator rather late. And we're braking to Repsol shortly before the underpass. Now we don't know where to brake into Seat. That's just a feeling that you have on the exit. Try not to get too much onto the curb, especially because it's wet. Now the left-hander into Wörth. Up the hill, try not to understeer out onto the green. It is very easy to get a track limit warning here. Now through Kampster we go on the 90-degree right-hander where you go off to the left. You actually don't go off to the left because nobody uses that layout. Now we come into La Caixa, which recently has been remodeled, but we are still using the old tight version. Now we go into Banque Sabadell. This right-hander, try not to get unsettled on the exit through Europcar and through the chicane. RACC we go. Try to get as close to sausage curbs as possible without actually going on them. One last time through New Holland onto the start, finish straight, and the lap is done.
That is a lap of Circuit de Catalunya. If that's correct, Circuit de Catalunya?
Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, exactly. And what's happened in the meanwhile is wow, we have some rain specialists already coming out. It seems like Hana Kiritani, for example, from Imoto Works. I'm not a Japanese native, so I don't know how to pronounce that exactly. However, they have the only 53 already here on the track, and followed 3/10 afterwards by Emilia Anderson and Mark Kame.
That is their first time in IWGP since, I'm led to believe, Season 4. With the same livery in the same car. Perhaps even the same number.
That might very well be. I remember seeing that livery back then, now that you mention it.
I remember being on track with the same livery. Not fighting them. Way too quick for me, but same on track. I will say it is a very striking and very nice looking livery.
It is indeed. And what is interesting though is that it seems like all of the time gained for Hana Kiritani is in Sector 2 of the circuit. Sector 1, they are not the quickest by 2/10. That honor would go to Lecaseas. And in Sector 3, they're also not quickest by 2/10. That honor goes to Emilia Anderson. Executing in second place right now.
It'll be interesting to see how the former IWGP champion will deal with being half a season out of the car. And what I'm led to believe, well, what I've been told, in fact, is they haven't been doing much practice. However, they may have not had much practice, but they've definitely not lost any of their pace. Only roundabout 3/10 behind Kiritani.
Yeah, that is true. 3/10 is not too much, especially since we're racing in the rain, where differences are even larger than usual. However, 3/10 could still be a league in its own. Basically, if Kiritani doesn't get attacked and doesn't come under pressure immediately from the get-go, from the start of the race, then that would mean that they could just drive away 3/10 a lap at a time, and that could really cause some troubles for the P1 challenges that are following afterwards, in which Le Casillas also now is, with being 3.6 tenths off the lead.
Right, only 3/10 behind Kiritani. There is top 4 drivers, Kiritani, Anderson, Casillas, and Kane, all within 3 to 4 tenths of the leader. It's currently a quickest lap by Kiritani, who's just improved their fastest lap to a 1:53.797. So now 4 tenths, nearly half a second faster than Amelia Anderson, who's now driving a McLaren. One that gives me Okiak's McLaren vibes from Formula 1. I will say, with the pink and papaya. That's been an off by from Kiritani. Wonders what's happened there.
Probably wasn't too much, just ending the lap there, resetting back to pits. And we have a new challenger for the top spaces. We have How You now in second position.
I think that is one of the UMA Motorsport drivers.
Indeed it is.
A theme I've noticed with the UMA Motorsport drivers is mostly NSXs. So the Honda NSX's popularity has skyrocketed after UMA Motorsport has entered the sport. That's Mark Kane, our fastest with a 1:53.387 in the Yandere Racing Aston Martin Vantage.
Wow, immediately put in 4 tenths between themselves and Hana Kiritani. That is a charge by Mark Kane right there.
I think we're going to have quite an interesting race, Julian, with all the how fast people are going, just finding that extra few tenths here and there over the lap. As it looks, I would say the not the fastest, the average is around about a 56, 57. Good, the first 15 drivers are faster than a 1:56, which I find is already alien speed.
Well, the practice of the track lap that you saw before was a high 58, if I remember correctly. So yes, these drivers are doing speeds that, well, it is a bit simpler than on the practice server where I was before, simply due to the amount of cars that are currently out on track, drawing up the track at parts, generating a kind of a dry line. So that will make it a bit easier to get better times than if it was just pure wet track.
Yes, I also did a lap, and let's say we don't talk about the times for that one. There was a lot slower than a lot of people in here. It was in the around 2 minutes. I think it was 2:05. So very off the pace. Running on board with Casillas, which his livery has failed to load, so now he just has a fully carbon fiber M4.
Oh no.
Perhaps a Koenigsegg special, you could say. There's another new P5. Another Uman Motorsport driver. Yukari Kaguzaki. How do you pronounce that name?
Probably Yukari Kagurazaka.
There you go. There's a Alexis whose livery has also not loaded either, sadly. But I'd say we're gonna have a very competitive race up the front, especially with the first 10 drivers getting a sub 155.
That are some amazing times. But Mark Kame and Kiritani are stepping the game up on that with their 53s. 33. Wow, that would be. That would be a bit too quick.
Mark Kame just coming out the pits, perhaps doing another lap or two before qualifying ends. Lucas has jumped up to P2 with a 153.645. But he won the last race weekend for IVGC, if I remember correctly, at Imola.
Yeah.
Where, let's say, there was interesting moments for me personally, which we shall not talk about.
I don't know what you're talking about. The only moment I remember from you is that you led the race for many laps.
I got
totally on pace.
I got disqualified. That's what happened. But enough of that. There is Lucas says, I believe, has partnered up their old teammate Emilio Anderson. So the season 4 powerhouse, season 4 and 5 powerhouse. No, it's just season 5 powerhouse. My apologies. So season 4 and 5 champions teaming up together. So who would you say is your oh, no, go on.
I just want to say Emilio Anderson looks to be improving on the lap time, currently 2.5 tenths up on their time. This could put them up into P4, maybe even challenging for P3, depending on the time they can still save in these last couple corners. Going through this corner, which I forgot the name of because, yeah, the names of the corners here are rather forgettable. However, going through into the RACC chicane now. This is the last couple of corners on the racetrack for Emilio Anderson. 2 tenths up on the time, losing a bit. Oh, getting a bit unsettled there over the sausage curb. Losing all of their time through the last corner. And there's someone turned around in the middle of the start-finish straight.
They had a 3 tenths gained, then was it just at the end? Perhaps slowed down by that Mercedes. But still time for another lap, maybe even 2 if they're quick enough.
Oh yeah, definitely. 2 laps time, no problem. Now they'll first have to gain a bit of time for that. Kagura Mashiro is also looking rather racy in the Honda NSX right now. Almost a second up on their time. This could improve them well in the standings. Well, I say well, into P17 they could go if they save enough time. Through the last couple corners, Kagura Mashiro goes. The Human Motorsport racer is looking to advance in the standings for the qualifying session, at least provisionally. Over a second now saved. What can they do through the last couple corners? Saving a bit more time, 1.2 seconds ahead now. Coming across the line.
That's
in 17 with a 156.0 in P17. I cannot believe that. That is, the pace today is really high.
This makes your lap look well, I'd say just slightly off the pace. Makes me look like I'm a back marker.
Makes you look like a GT4 almost.
I think that's a little bit disrespectful to GT4s. There's now
Oh, God.
35 cars on track. Oh my.
There's 35 cars on track, and Hana Kiritani is one of them. Currently looking to improve on that time, maybe even going for that provisional pole position. Just 4/10 up on that time, going into the RACC chicane right now. However, there's the Nissan ahead of Ryuma Tateyama, going really slow.
Oh.
This costs some time for Hana Kiritani.
Oh no.
And they're off.
They've got to love the camera work, because it looks like there's just a giant wall on the side of the track. Quite a shame from Kiritani just losing it right at the end of the lap from a back marker interfering. But still very quick. Looks like Avenue B is, remember, 6/10 up on their time in the Porsche, which could perhaps jump them up a good few positions, maybe up to P19.
And we are right around, well, Ivano is right around that special mark of the last point scoring positions, which is P22, if I'm correct, the last point scoring position for us. So every position above gives some more points above here, and that is very important, especially in a mental game. Getting a good qualification going for a good as they invalidate the lap there. Getting a good qualification position is a nice motivator for the race.
But here you go, higher position you get in qualifying, perhaps a bigger ego boost. But Avenue B qualified P22, just sadly just understeered and just messed up the last two corners, and is now driven into a wall. Is there any drivers who are on a flying lap? It looks like
it seems like the only one that could improve is Emilia Anderson, currently in P5, about on par with the lap time, now gaining a bit of time as we come into the dip on the back, quote-unquote, straightaway.
Yeah, I don't know what you call this corner. All I know is I normally understeer there.
I think it was Wirth, which is a German hardware manufacturer.
There you go. More you know. Who said sim racing wasn't... No, well, you couldn't learn anything from sim racing. Remember,
sim racing is one of the most educational hobbies in the entire world. Probably.
Who needs school when you have the track.eu IGC broadcast? Watch from about 3/10. Oh no, that's up to 6, 7, 8. Nah. Yeah, I think they've just given up that lap.
Alright, we have some wet conditions. Remember that curbs are slippery and watch your braking distance.
Should we do a grid walk?
Let's do a grid
quite
walk.
A long grid walk at that.
We have 35 people participating in today's race, it seems. So, yeah, quite a long grid walk. You are right.
Oh. Some reason... Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Oh my Jesus Christ. This is gonna be a long one. I'll start walking down, you can start naming the cars. How does that sound?
That sounds lovely. In row 1, we have Mark Kane, followed by Le Casillas. Then we have Hana Kiritani, Wahao, Emilia Anderson, Yukari Kagurazaka, Reska Kyoso in the yellow BMW, Albert George, Akito Asasagawa, Moritz Reiniger, Williams Johnson, VTuber Merkur VR, Victor Masato, Isa Embra, Blanc Ryuzaki, Midnight Hurricane, Natalie Lee, Kagura Mashiro, Timo Flüglistaller, and Shike Hawkinen 20. And we got Gary Slater, Damien Pristupa, Ekim Ali Boran Shensoi, Imentrix, Seung KP, Tals the 14th, Leon JHK, Adrian Dubrovka, Kazetsu Fujiwara, AG Radium, Chancellor, DJ Overdrive, Kageru Kanemoto, Ryuma Tateyama, and Trazione Integrale in the only good car on the grid.
That is very debatable, but congrats for getting all those. What the hell is happening with the camera? Oh, never mind. I understand what's happening. We're now inside Marken. So that is your 35 car grid. One of the biggest grids in IGT history. Do you know how many cars was in the most? I know it was 30.
That was last race with 34, I believe.
We're now every race we're breaking new boundaries. 35 cars on a wet track, which is particularly not even the easiest track in the dry. Oh god.
There must be some reason the FIA and the FIM love this track so much. Perhaps it's for safety reasons, because there is massive runoff everywhere around here. So let's just hope that the crashing keeps to minimal numbers, and if they happen, off track.
Let's hope the stewards will not have to deal with 10 million incidents this time. My prayers already are going out to them, and the race has not even started.
The incident counter is prepared. The sheet, I have the sheet open actually, so I will give you an update if we feel like there are many incidents coming in.
TRACC.eu, where efficiency is our strong suit. Remember, halfway through the lap now. Let's say I'm glad I'm not driving this. Such a big field with semi-dangerous conditions.
Well, it is. Well, the thing is, the wet is sometimes even safer than the dry, simply for one reason, which is there is a larger separation in terms of skill between the drivers, meaning there is a potentially larger separation in lap times, meaning people will get strung out, will get separated more easily. This will not be problematic as long as everyone keeps to the backmarker rules.
If everybody obeys the flags, we should be alright. Coming round the last corner.
Yeah, we're coming to the last corner. It seems like everyone also in the rear. Well, we've got 5 people starting from the grids, it seems.
And we've also got a car on the back. Who is
Apart from that, it seems like everyone is lining up in the field as we come to the start-finish line.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are green. 1 hour of IVGTC racing in rainy Barcelona has just started. Mark Kane is being immediately challenged by Hana Kiritani, who had a rather quick start. We're getting 3-4 wide in the back there. What is happening?
Oh.
In the current one, Mark Kane going for a very deep line, allowing Legaseas to inherit P1.
SKP, Metrics, just come out the pits. Legaseas is currently got the lead from Kiritani. BMW versus Porsche. That was cleaner than I actually suspected would be.
And we have a problem. Oh, Emily Anderson's turned around, and it seems like the carnage. Many cars getting caught up within Emilia Anderson. That is not the most beautiful sight we could have hoped for.
I wonder what's just happened there. No, it's even worse than we thought. Shades of Season 3 are re-emerging. Anderson all the way back down the grid. Still not last though.
Still not last because there were some people that started from the pit lane.
That's not a healthy looking McLaren on the front. Back doesn't look too good either. And we already have a drive-through for iMetrics.
How did that happen?
Perhaps speeding in the pit lane, as they did start from the pit lane.
And Timo Flüglistaller is off. After Lakaisha, and it seems like there are some cars getting involved. Adrian Dubrovka being also turned around there. The back mark as well. The pit start is coming past. Adrian Dubrovka having not the best time through Lakaisha there.
It's one BMW off. That's first lap. Carnage is really apparent. And Rich Masato currently the fastest lap with a 7-minute 34. Oh, he's sliding and he's just caught it. Little wide, which is letting Mercury VR have a look around the outside. If he can hang around, no. Backside of it. Stupa.
Seems like the winner of lap 1 was AG Radium, starting in 30th position, now up into P20, made up 10 positions. Damien Stupa also making up 8 positions in the start. The loser of the start seemed to be Emilia Anderson, losing 21 positions thanks to the incident.
Hey, you don't like seeing that. I'm not sure if you were there or saw it, but we had a very similar incident in the race. I don't remember if it was race 1 or 2, but in the same as season 3, same corner, in dry conditions. Stupa just getting by Mercury VR, who's went a little wide. Power the Porsche challenging the Audi. The Audi looks like he's going for a bit of an inside dive. Oh, it's going to be close side by side. Audi's right by. We have an off. Ryuzaki off.
Ooh, that is a difficult position to be off. Oi, 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 oi. That's exactly
That's
on the racing line out of Lakaisha.
Who's gave him a little bump? That would be Mashiro, who's given Ryuzaki a little bump, little spin. That's Ryuzaki down to last place. How many positions was that lost? That must have been over 10 at least. That is
20 in fact.
20 positions. Oh my. iMetrics still with the drive-through. Porsche versus Porsche. Kanimoto versus Metrics. German versus German in the Porsches. Metrics going into the pits, getting the drive-through done. Ryuzaki just getting by.
Taking a look at the speed trap so far, it seems like the quickest car so far is Albert Gersh with 258 kilometers an hour on the straight.
Blistering speed. We have Casillas still in the lead, and the pit window is just. What was that? Current fast lap is a 154.4 by Kagruzaka. I still don't know how to say it, no.
You said that fine. Just a bit quicker, and you're all there.
It is interesting to see how close Kiritani is. Pretty much just sniffing the exhaust fumes from Casillas in the BMW. Boxer 6 versus 6 cylinder. Which engine configuration will prevail?
Warning to everyone at home, do not sniff exhaust fumes.
Mark came over the fastest lap with a 153.9. That's, remember, quality pace already. Just in the first few laps, and there's been an off. Big accident. Fujiwara involved, Chamchilla involved.
Feels like everything's going down at Lakaisha. Every incident, pretty much, every bigger one.
It's like Fujiwara was trying to get by and just didn't give enough room to Shamchilla. Difficult place to get back on track with all the cars coming back by.
And I've got a pit lane update. Emilia Anderson is the first one to go for the mandatory pit stop. iMentrix VT has a stop go 30, and Moritz Reininger has also gone for a pit stop. Is already exiting right now.
That's a quick pit stop already. I don't think they've had any damage. That's AG Radium and Natalie We had an off as well. Wonder what's happened there. Oh, Natalie We just misjudging the brakes a little bit and sending Radium off. That's the Lamborghini trying to re-enter the track. I don't think he's lost too many positions, but still a few positions lost.
The most important part about such situations is not that you lose positions, but it's that you lose rhythm. Rhythm is one of the most important stuff that a racer can have. And if you're really down in touch with your car, and then suddenly something like that happens, someone overjudging the braking points, you can immediately lose all of that rhythm and not get it back for the end of the race, basically.
Talk about how Natalie Lee has ended up behind Radium even after the off. Perhaps just letting him back by. I have to quickly do something. So what car would you like me to quickly focus on? I shall be only a minute.
Let's go on the top 3, Hana Kiritani.
Alright.
So we've got Hana Kiritani right behind Le Casillas, currently letting a bit of space in between the two. It was possible for Kagurazaka right behind them to catch up a bit. However, they have lost some time through the more technical section. Hana Kiritani right on the back now after La Caixa. Let's see through these couple of corners if they can catch up even more, maybe even go for an overtake. The Porsche driver right in the slipstream of the BMW for Le Casillas. Through RACC they go, and almost a bit of contact there on the exit. Le Casillas getting a bit of a worse off exit against Hana Kiritani on the start finish straight. However, it should be advantage BMW because the Porsche's not the quickest straight line wonder, even though it is in the slipstream. Kagurazaka, however, being able to carry on the wayward son over the start finish straight in order to really catch up with the Porsche of Hana Kiritani. Kagurazaka gaining so much straight line position simply because the Honda is beautiful in a straight line. However, the Porsche getting a bit unsettled there for Kiritani. Losing a bit of position now, track position to Le Casillas. However, not losing an actual track position to the two following cars. Kagurazaka right on the tails of Kiritani. Now losing a bit through the technical sector. Right behind that we have Mark Kame in the Aston Martin. It seems like it's playing out to be a battle of 4 cars for the win. The leading group, 4 cars, Le Casillas still in front. But the interesting part will be, who will be the first person to dive into the pits? Will it be Le Casillas from the safety of the P1? Will it be Kiritani? P2 getting a bit unsettled right there. They need to regain their rhythm. I said it before, rhythm is one of the most important things for a racer. And Hana Kiritani a bit out of it seems like, at the moment. Lekaseas able to get away by a second right now on the start-finish straight as we come into T1 again to start lap 6 of the race.
My apologies for that, for interruption, but we've just had an off by ABR. Who's that? Icer Ember, who's apparently just going very slowly through the last few tightening corners. I will say that's an interesting way of taking that corner complex.
After some mistakes, the front seems to have split up a bit. However, Mark Kane is on the tail of Kagurazaka. The only problem is overtaking on Barcelona is rather dependent on top-end speed and getting the overtakes done into the heavy braking zones that are into La Caixa and into turn 1. However, Mark Kane not really being able to take the advantage that they have with their Aston Martin, which is the braking.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there has been an accident between SKP and Icer Ember. Icer Ember already off track, just sliding back. Then SKP just doesn't have enough time to react, trying to go inside the corner, trying to miss Icer Ember, and just hits the side of them. Nasty accident. Looks like How You is on the rear bumper of Mark Kane, battle for P4, and Albert George is not that far behind either.
Yeah, it seems like the two have caught up to Mark Kane, who has been in the leading group, the top 4 shortly. However, the top 4 now separated by a bit, and How You and Albert George being able to catch up to Mark Kane. How You having a great advantage, as well as Albert George with the Honda, which is the straight line speed. However, in the braking zones, it should still be Mark Kane that comes out ahead, simply because of the braking capabilities of the Aston Martin.
Mark Kane currently in an NSX sandwich.
Indeed.
NSX, Vantage, NSX, then M4. And it looks like W is going through, trying to go around the inside. A little bit of a wiggle is just unsettled them.
That is a very hard corner to overtaken, simply because you need pretty much all of the run. And How You goes a bit off track there. What is that?
Looks like Albert George to try around the art side. Got a better line. Can he make it stick? Oh. Little taps. And Albert George just went off. Perhaps a bit of understeer, which has backed him up a bit to Raska Kyoso.
Raska Kyoso, who is also being closely followed. No, not being closely followed. It's just that my thing hasn't updated yet. Lovely.
Simply lovely. Rescue Kyoto on the rear bumper of the NSX. Both IVGC veterans, both making debuts in the race room era.
Albert Church coming in here with a rather nice feeling because they won last week's TRACC GT race on here. One of them, anyways.
That's right. They very stellar performance by Albert George. Perhaps someone to look out for in the future of TRACC GT Open. Recently, this past season, they've been improving every race. And is also the person who made the standings at the start of the stream.
Just looking back, to the last time we raced at Barcelona here at IVGTC.
Ice Rainbow off again. Who's prevented Kaguru Kanemoto a little bit? It should be blue flags for Icer Ember, who's just went off again. A lot of damage to the NSX perhaps. Or perhaps maybe even technical difficulties.
There's a yellow flag for Kiritani!
Wonder what's happened there.
Seems like they just went a bit wide through Bert.
Touched about the outside curb and just unsettled the car. One position lost. You can make that two as well.
This is shuffled at the top three. Lakers Sayers unimpressed by everything, just driving away in the front in the sunset or rain set. Followed by Kagurazaka in P2 and Mark Kane now in inherited P3 thanks to that situation.
It is Battle of the Titans up the top. It's just interesting to see how one small off can prevent... my apologies, not prevent, can do such damage.
On DJ Overdrive, sliding and oh! Seems like Adrian Dubrovka and DJ Overdrive are coming together.
His teammates, both Grip Runners cars, the M6 and the M4. Quite ironic, as the Grip Runners car is didn't really have any grip there. Part of the 14 to all 4 yellow flag, he's went off. What happened to him? Oh, same, pretty much nearly the same thing as Kiritani, but just a bit worse off.
Seems like Task the 14th will not be able to, well, repeat their beautiful 14th place that they had last time.
I beg to differ, is we still have just over half a race left to go. There's still plenty of time to make up positions if he keeps himself out of trouble. We're right behind, so blue flags though, so take that as you will.
Front seems to be bunching up to a battle for P2. Mark Kane are really on the back of Kagurazaka and Kiritani right behind them.
If Kagurazaka can praise for a little bit of good luck, perhaps Mark Kane and Kiritani will fight a bit, will give him a bit of an advantage. The first Uma motorsport driver who's been in the top 3.
This race, yes.
Yes. NSXs are definitely ardent force from being quite an unpopular pick to a very popular pick.
This just shows that the bob seems to be working.
Mark came going a little deep. That would give Kiritani a bit of a break. I'd say best times at the moment are mostly in the 54, 55 range. So who would you say who has the best chance for getting this P2 at the moment between Kame, Kiritani and Kaguruzaka?
That is a difficult question because Kaguruzaka has the advantage of the NSX, which is straight line monster. They would have to get into some trouble in the more technical sections for Mark Kame and Kiritani to be able to actually catch up with them. So really, it is just in the hands of Kaguruzaka now, keeping that cool, keeping calm and collected, and just not doing anything too stupid. As it seems like Kiritani is now attacking Mark Kame. And what you said before is exactly how coming to pass. A bit of battling between the P3 and P4 drivers right now.
It is bumper to bumper. Remember, half a car length between them.
Midnight Hurricane and Chamchulo are now in the pits for their regular pit stops. As we can expect in the next few laps, most people to go for their mandatory pit stops.
Bit of pit strategy definitely played a part last week. Yeah, if you're personally speaking, from personal experience, if you decide to go for your pit a bit later than usual, you can get good position. However, you may sacrifice that position when you get back on track. If you can get back on track, that is.
It's all about where you can get the best clean track in order to not have to fight too much with other people to lose time. Also not being blue flagged too much.
That's a back marker who's just barred away just in time. There's another back marker in the Bentley that is...
Trazione Integrale.
Oh, right in the curbs. Oh,
as you do in the Bentley.
NSX. It's a little party down there, and Mark Kame is going in for the pits. Kiritani.
Ooh, that was a bit of an interesting pit entry, going right across the curb there for the pit entry, but okay.
This will give Kiritani a bit of a lead over Mark Kame. However, Mark Kame will have newer tires unless Kiritani pits at the end of this lap. The strategies definitely are playing at the moment.
Oh, I don't think the wet tires, to be honest. The wet tires don't have such a big drop-off as the dry tires do, so...
Reska Kyoso in the pits as well, and so is Akira Suzukawa. Rakur VR is jumped up 3 positions because of this. With former IWGC champion Executee on the tail. If I remember correctly, the last race we had, was it Donington Park in the rain?
Was it last season, Donington Park? In that case, it might be, yeah.
That was a very good race from me, and probably my favourite track we've raced it so far.
I mean, Donington Park is hands down the best racetrack in ACC. That is a fact, and nobody can discuss that with me.
Well,
Do not at me.
I'll add you for agreement. How was that?
That is accepted. Yes.
I'm surprised to see Akito is all the way down in the P14. I know the Lexus is quite strong in the run from Donington Park.
And they have just done the mandatory pit stop, so we will have to wait until it all shuffles back together, until everyone has done the mandatory pit stop to see the true position that Akito Asagawa is in right now.
I will say every race, there's been an off by Mashiro. Perhaps riding the same curb. Yeah, just spun off the curb. Oh, Reska just avoided it. I think we could...
That is one thing you have to get into your mind if you are racing in the wet. You cannot take the curbs at all, most of the time. And if you do, you cannot really take them as hard on as you would in the dry. Simply because they are much wetter than the rest of the track, and you will lose footing if you go too much onto the curb.
Radium was just went off as you were speaking, and then we just stopped at the side of the track. I don't know what that was all about. Reska Kyoso back up the P11 after the pits. Have you driven the M4 much?
No.
Oh. I was gonna ask, how does it handle in the rain? Because I wouldn't know.
I have heard it is quite a well-balanced car all around.
Well, there you go.
So I reckon it does okay in the rain. I mean, it must do somewhat okay because Lecaseas, who's just now entering the pits, has just been in P1 the entire time in the M4.
It's the first Yuma motorsport driver to take the lead of an IBGC event with Yukazaki Kaguruzaka.
Isn't? I thought by how you had the lead.
I could possibly be wrong. Someone fact check it. But we have Kiritani, who's not that far behind in the Porsche. Oh, a bit of a slide from the NSX.
As a matter of fact, we have two UMA Motorsport drivers right now on the top 3 steps of the podium. Yeah.
The top 3 steps of the podium. That's an interesting way to describe it. But
yeah.
It is pretty much a Porsche Honda sandwich. I wonder what that would taste like. But Porsche keeping its own, keeping the NSX honest. We can say it's out of the pits now into P6. So still a good chance Lecaseas could take the lead back with minimal time lost in the pits. Victor Masato and Mercury VR also in the pits now. I think Mercury is just coming out. Oh, there's a bit of a wide by Kaguzaka, which is Post-Kuritani. A little bit wide! And there's been an accident! 3-car accident for the lead.
Oh, that is definitely going to help Lecaseas.
I think the stewards are not going to have a fun time with that one.
Oh boy.
At least it's gave Kiritani in the pits, top 3 in the pits.
Gave them all an excuse to immediately head into the pits, yes.
Depending if Pashtupa heads into the pits, he may have the lead in the Cross Area SHRT car.
I think that will be a first.
Oh, and he's had a bit wide.
That means Gary Slater is taking the provisional lead if they come across.
I I don't want to sound
quickly
biased, but come on, Gary. Let's see McLaren in the lead.
Unfortunately, if they take the lead right now, they do not head into the pits.
They are.
They are taking the lead right now, but they are not even the first Scottish person to have lead laps on IVGTC.
That would be yours truly. And you can just imagine that Jeremy Clarkson's smug-looking face, which I'm currently pulling. But
Imagine Scottish Jeremy Clarkson.
Well, I'm not gonna try and entertain that idea, because people will take that out of context. But currently, as it stands, if Gary Sweater keeps the lead for this lap, there will be 2 Scottish drivers in the whole IWGC history, which has only had 2 Scottish drivers, with a lap. So there you go. There's your useless fact for the race. McLaren versus BMW. Kase is already right behind.
It seems like all of the leaders from before have now exited the pits. Provisional standings would then be Lake Sayers from Mark Kamen. Why? How are you? Right now, it is Gary Slater still hogging the limelight for Scotland.
You want to see it.
For Scotland, for Koneko Racing.
Great news for Scotland. Inside and outside of racing. Only one more complex of corners, then the last corner, and then he's led a lap. The first Kaneko Racing, fully branded Kaneko Racing car to lead a lap since God knows how long. A long time ago. It's Gary Slater has led a lap. So both Scottish drivers in IWGC history have led a lap.
But Lake Sayers is already behind and already flashing the headlights.
Oh, perhaps a sign of disrespect or get out of the way.
I think Lake Sayers is using the flashing the headlights rather similarly to me, which is watch out, I'm coming, don't do anything stupid. That is what I'm trying to tell people in front of me if I use my headlights.
Oh, a bit of a small slide from Gary Sweater. Oh, in which is Gabe Cassais the inside of that. He's now on the outside and Cassais has got it. The inner Scotsman in me is sad, but I think Gary Sweater should perhaps come in for tires. If he builds up, he's got a decent amount off the lead. So it shouldn't be that bad. It should only lose a few positions. Victor Masato...
Bronco Ryosaki just got taken out. Williams Johnson just got taken out. Bronco Ryosaki. Williams Johnson just got taken out by Leon JHK. There we go.
Leon JHK is Spawn W. Johnson. Oh, Akira Sagawa just missed him. So did another NSX. Oh my goodness. Williams Johnson down to P15. Lost 4 positions. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Victor Masato is back in the pits. Perhaps some damage?
No, that's the first time they are pitting.
Oh. My apologies. I thought he was already done his pit.
Ryuma Tateyama also in the pits, and Gary Slater now coming in the pits. You have done well, Gary. You have led a lap. Congratulations.
I'm proud of you. That's 2 Scottish drivers wed a lap in IWGC or a Tractor EU event in the same series in 2 races in a row.
You're almost making me look up the pre-IWGC track events in order to fact check that Scottish fact.
All I'm saying is, we need more Scottish drivers. I'm not biased, I swear. But yeah. That's Albert George is went off. In the VM Planetarian car. Just a bit of a side. Which is what Reska Kyoso by quite easily. And Kaguruzaka.
Kagura Mashiro now coming into the pits.
Oh, teammates together now. Same, both VM Planetarian NSXs and the two Porsches behind. Both teams fighting. Maybe some team orders like we saw in Monza Season 3 with the two Hinako Racing Lexuses.
I'm really debating whether I should go into the plural of Lexus thing now.
Lexi.
Lexuses, what is it?
I can't say what other Lexus drivers call it on stream, as I don't want to get the stream taken down, but I'll tell you after stream. How's that?
Oh god, no, please no.
Okay, never mind.
Marco VR is right on the back of Williams Johnson, who is now recovering from the incident before. Marco VR, of course, having had some great fortune at this track before, winning the VTuber race in Season 3 around here.
Very interesting.
The only person they were bested by was a sim racer by the name of Bernard Bonello, who was a rather short-lived figure in the Track.eu history.
It's Ardy versus Ardy. Oh wait, never mind, that isn't for position.
Leon JHK is a backmarker, that is correct. And they're not getting in the way of the front runners right at this moment.
I've just noticed what William JHK has in the front of his car, which is just making me shake my head.
Fair enough.
It is a wash, if you don't know what I'm referencing.
Yes, I know. At the end of the point scoring positions, we have Victor Masato battling it out with Kagura Mashiro. The two drivers not having the best of days. However, Victor Masato going for an overtake into La Caixa. Can they get it stopped on time? It seems like they do. However, there's a switchback move coming from Mashiro. They are not side by side enough in order to get the inside button touch. And that seems to be Victor Masato. Turn around 360 no-scoped.
Oh, this is gonna...
People coming from the back. Ikimari Boro Shensoi rear-ending Victor Masato there.
That's a few positions lost from Victor. That's a bit of friendly fire from the Honda camp.
I can already say the stewards are not gonna like that.
The Yuzaki right behind as well.
Stewarding updates. We are currently at 48 incidents recorded.
Thank God I am not assured.
Yet.
That's
anyways.
Kiritani just end the frame. Passing another Porsche. That is both Porsches on track actually, both 911 models. That's 2019 and I believe, is it 2017? I don't remember.
I believe there are all three different models in ACC.
I don't even remember, but I know there's at least two, and we both have them on track, right next to each other. It's like a sore-ish lap from Wekasayas, who has currently down to 121 at the moment. However, he does have the fastest lap. His last lap was a 153.422, which is the fastest lap so far.
Taking away the fastest lap from Mark Kane.
Oh, we have the Brovka a bit off. I don't know what's happened there. Bit of a ding-dong with Tateyama. Just so little ding dong, but has lost the Brovka a bit of track places. No,
This whole backmarker shenanigans is allowing Damian Super to catch up to Gary Slater. It seems like Poland is fighting Scotland now.
as a Scottish person, I'm praying that Scotland wins that battle, but Verstappen has shown some pace, especially early in the race, and Natalie's way will make that more of a British battle, Britain versus Poland.
It's a UK sandwich in which Poland is. Okay. From what I know about the UK, there are so many Polish people in the UK apparently, so that is somehow fitting. Weirdly enough.
I will say, from my job, my other job from commentating, there is a few Polish people, so take that as you will. So it is the UK versus Poland, and that's a bit of a hop from the McLaren. She's went
Super goes for the overtake. Yes!
And Natalie is going through as well.
Holy, that was close for Natalie Lee, almost hitting the rear end of Gary Slater there. Well, this has shuffled up the 13 to 15 ranks a bit. However, all are safely in the point scoring positions, so as long as they don't do anything too stupid, they will continue to score points.
Indeed. This will be a close battle for a good few laps at least to Stupa, Lee and Slater. Lee looks like they're having a look on the inside. A little too late, but backs out of it. It'll be the battle of the agents, Scotland versus England, if Slater picks up the pace a little bit.
Could be very mean right now and say that's a big if. However, Gary Slater has shown some pace today, has lead laps.
We looks like they're right behind Verstappen. It's a look around the inside, and will they make it stick? Just. Verstappen just gets it. So you were saying something?
Probably. Yes, I'm saying things. That is part of my job description, yes.
Yes. All we need now is a Welsh driver and a Northern Ireland driver. Then we'd have all four parts of the UK together.
And there's a drive-through for Albert George in P6.
There's Albert George done. Perhaps cutting corners?
It seems like it. The place they just got the drive-through penalty is a popular spot where you can pick up a track limit warning. And if you do that, I think
4 times?
4 times, you get a drive-through penalty. So it seems like Albert George has been too cutty this race, unfortunately,
Perhaps
for them.
Perhaps a bit of understeer, as it is a slippy track. I don't know how the NSX handles, but if that was at least me, I would probably have understeered it that little complex, like I normally do.
Honestly, I don't know how it handles as well, because I haven't driven it since I started playing ACC, simply because the steering wheel on the inside isn't animated, and that is bugging me.
Indeed. Now the front straight is, well, empty. Now it's, I'd say the last corner is where the party is happening. Kirtani passing by Albert George very easily. Midnight Hurricane might get by. That's Midnight Hurricane by as well. Akito Asagawa passed by Albert George. Well, Albert George getting passed by Akito Asagawa.
That is a Porsche going very evasive there.
We'll have to see the McLaren, well not the McLaren, the Lexus, my apologies, doing well. Only one Lexus this race. And the last time we were here, two, my apologies, and they're both in the top 10.
Well, not anymore. Team of Lugisala right now in the pits for the mandatory pit stop, losing a bit of positions due to that. They have been in the top 10 for a rather long time, however.
From the last time I was, last time we were racing here, I remember the Lexus was a bit more popular. But it must be the times are changing.
Times are changing. The NSX is supreme now.
NSX and BMW. All I'm saying is bring back the boats. Give us the Bentley and the Lexus. Maybe the M6 as well. That's
I agree on the Bentley.
Well, more saloon / more proper Grand Touring cars instead of just supercars.
Yeah, bring back the Jag.
The last time a Jag was run, if I remember correctly, it was season 4 with Kaguru Kanemoto. I think.
That might very well be.
I only know that is I made delivery for that car.
Seems like Albert Jersh is on a mission after the drive-through, now right behind Akito Asazagawa. Lexus versus Honda.
Albert George and Akito Asagawa. Both cars I know are strong in the straights. Well, the Lexus I know from experience is strong in the straights, and I think you said the NSX is also strong in the straights.
NSX pretty much the undefeated master of the straight line speed, yes.
Perhaps very good at Paul Ricard then.
Actually, that is surprising. They almost come together right now over me. I'm looking at the speed trap right now, and it seems that two people are currently on the top of the standings there with 258 kilometers an hour. There's Mark Kame in the Aston and Albert George. As they go past back marker there.
Albert George was side by side, went back out of it, called it the back marker.
Overall, it seems like currently there are two drivers in the field that might qualify to get a coveted symbol, a coveted trophy, the Sunday Driver Award, which will be Midnight Hurricane and Damien Pristupa, both making up 9 positions from start to finish, from qualification to race. But it's still 10 minutes left.
That's so, the 14th off. Wonder what's happened there. Bit of the inside curves just spins it. I don't think his livery's loaded either. It's just white and red for me.
Must be some problem on your end then. For me, it's all working.
Tateyama has a drive-through as well. Perhaps a bit of corner cutting as well. I will say it is a brave choice choosing the GTR though. It's how would you describe the GTR? Because the
only time I tried it, which was in preparation to a 9-hour endurance event around Suzuka, my professional stance on the GTR is it is horrible. It can oversteer and understeer on the same setup at the same time.
As someone who's raced it for 2 races, I would say it's interesting. Sure.
Very political answer.
It's At some points it can be your best friend, at other points it just wants to not cooperate at all. But remember...
While we haven't been looking, Natalie Lee has taken position 12 from Damien Pristupa, the Merc now in front of the Porsche.
And of the Germans. SOS, this is 911 GT3. Then there is an Audi ahead, so that is a good German cluster of cars.
Well, there's 30 seconds behind the Merc and the Audi, but sure. On the standings there together, yes. Come to think of it, I'm kind of missing our local Felix Night Fury, our local Lamborghini this time around. As Akito Asagawa is turned around!
Wonder what's happened there. Oh, bit unsettled. A bit of a small step from Albert George. Oh no. Very unfortunate. But as you were talking about a Lamborghini, I noticed there is one in the field. But I think they have retired, because I know for a fact that AG Radium was driving a Lamborghini, but I think they've retired.
Really? Oh, I see.
They are Frazioni's Integrale's teammate.
Speaking of which, quite interesting. We only have one Italian car in the entire grid, which is Tars the 14th right now.
Indeed. I'd say it's mostly either Japanese or German cars, with a small sprinkle of
Britishness. Yeah, and the one Aston.
Yeah. That's a bit of a strange one from Albert George. Just offering. Let's catch up with the leaders and see what's happening up there. It is Mark Kame versus Casillas for the lead. Mark Kame is definitely a bit into Casillas' lead. Both running number 154s. Mark Kame got a 153 last lap. Oh, and we forgot to mention the Bentley as well, for British cars.
Yeah, the Bentley exists as well, that is true.
The Brock are getting out of the way. It is BMW versus S.
It seems like Mark Kame has been able to catch up a few tenths through these last few corners right now on the straight. Are they in the slipstream range? Will they be able to gain a bit of an advantage in the advantage? Obligatory Aston Martin joke out of the way.
We should give you a role in the server, King of Puns.
Yes, please.
Pit window is now closed.
I only have like 3 punts. Pit window closed, and Sion KP did not go for the mandatory pit stop.
I remember correctly, the last person who did that got disqualified.
No, you actually don't get disqualified. You get like a
stop go 30.
You get like a, not a stop go 30. Just at the end of the race, you get a time penalty, which is like what I don't know, 90 seconds, 120 seconds, something like that.
Well, I will say brave choice is staying over 55 minutes on the same tires.
I mean, it's wet tires. Wet tires are not going to give in that easily.
Still brave though. Mark Kame is so close to getting the lead.
However, it's closer between Ekimari Boroshenso and Kagura Mashiro. There's only 2 tenths between the two, and Kagura Mashiro just tried going for an overtake into T1. The Porsche versus the Honda NSX.
Porsche has got their hazard lights on, which might offer Mashiro a little bit, but Mashiro just went white.
I think it just threw them off. Yes, as you said that.
And that is just wet by Mercure VR, who is lapping.
Oh yeah, the MP11, there we go.
Perhaps interesting strategies by Avanobi with the hazards, or just a genuine accident.
Are they still on?
I think they've been on since the practice sessions, yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. I guess they just want everyone to know that they are a hazard on track. Don't tell them I've said that.
I was thinking of saying that, but I thought I'll be kind of not say that.
Anyways, they haven't been a hazard so far from what we've seen today. And they haven't been the last few races. I think they're doing well. They're getting accustomed to the mouse steering, which is rather nice, as Mercure goes for the lapping.
Ooh, that's
and Mashiro is also catching up on the straight now.
a bit of the draft, bit of a slipstream. That NSX is so powerful on the straights. Thank God me and you are not racing, because I think the NSX would be a bit scary. Oh, there's been a bit of a tangle with Trazione Integrale and Mashiro. What's
I can already
happening?
tell you that much. Stewards won't like that.
Oh, Trazione Integrale just getting the worst of that one.
Alright, man.
However,
Final lap.
on another
Good
note,
final
there
push.
is a McLaren battle going on for the honours of the British manufacturer trophy. Well, McLaren trophy.
Slater versus Anderson.
Yes, exactly.
Will Sweden beat Scotland? It is the countries with the first letter of S in McLarens are very specific. Both,
God.
both Kaneko Racing members as well.
I don't really want to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is a battle of asses.
No
Because
comment.
of S countries.
Battle
Battle of asses.
All I'm going to say is no comment to that. So,
Fair enough.
Anderson has just gotten by Slater. This is what you call a McLaren Cup.
I've actually driven in a McLaren Cup on ACC once. It was a Monday night racing series. That was cool. We raced in Barcelona once. That was not cool. I don't like the McLaren around Barcelona, to be honest.
Was it perhaps the Logitech Cup?
No branding.
And as I forgot to mention earlier, as we had 35 cars start the race, it's more than a current GT3 endurance race that's happening. Take a guess at
Yes.
what one that is.
I don't know. However, Le Casillas is coming onto the start-finish line to finish the race right now.
Let's finish the race.
They have come across the line in first, right in front of Mark Haim. Mark Haim not being able
Mark
to
came in
get
second.
the advantage
Wait,
into
how
that
will you end
competition.
third? That is your podium. Yukara Kagazaka P4. Reska Kiyoso just coming around the last few corners. We'll get P5. In the BMW. Who wants a Sodas X Queen's Design car? Kiritani, who's been strong all race. P6. Midnight Hurricane. Looking at P7, but I think Albert George, Never mind. That is Victor Masato ahead. He's just escaped getting whacked. Our George, P8. Akito Suzagawa, P9. Williams Johnson, P10. That's been your top 10. And Mercure VR, P11. So how do you describe this race, Julian?
Well, last time around I said out of there we go, Strong KP get a 1:30-second penalty. Last time I said out of all the races this has certainly been one. This time around I think it was actually a rather enjoyable race. It was not the most unclean race ever, with 63 incidents, or actually 60 incidents. So well done for keeping it rather safe to our 35 drivers. Massive grid that started the race. Massively enjoyable, and congratulations to the winners.
I would say, I think there's, let's see if there's any cars that have to finish their lap, and I saw every single one has finished, so. Only 2 DNFs express. I will say it is, it was cleaner than expected on my end. Not sure about you, but definitely cleaner than Imola.
Gary Slater in the text chat. I led an Ivy GTC race. Oh, beautiful. Lovely to see.
Congratulations to Gary Slater for winning his first laps in a TRACC.eu event. Scotland definitely is proud of you. But we have now officially went full circle in the ACC sphere with IGC.
What do you mean, full circle?
Well, the first season of the ACC era of IGC was season 3. The first round with race 1 and 2, and well, today is the same track, so we have officially went full circle.
Yeah, there's still a few tracks that we haven't been to. There is Snetterton in the UK, then there's a few American tracks that we haven't been to yet. So, there will be impressive stuff coming up. However, we are at the end of the race, and I will actually take a look right now where we will be racing in 2 weeks. Because in 2 weeks, we will be going to Bathurst, exactly. And the Australian V-Prix. Oh God. Speaking for the stewarding team, I'm not looking forward to that. But in the meantime,
speaking as a driver from the last time we raced there, oh God.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Everyone make sure your equipment is working properly, as we don't have a repeat of turn 1 the last time.
Indeed. So, I want to say thanks everyone so much for watching. Thanks everyone that is looking at the VOD after the fact. Also thanks to all of the races that participated tonight. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we shall see you in 2 weeks at Australia. Perhaps next week if you are watching the TRACC Open GT Cup. If Metrix is streaming it, because I can't. Is there anything else you would like to say before we head off?
No. Thanks everyone for watching, and goodbye.
Goodbye, and see you next time.